I mean, I would suggest here that what you're going to get is an explosion of tokenized securities in the States. I mean, just an explosion. As soon as the SEC says, okay, these are the rules of the game, boom, tokenized securities everywhere. And then I think what you're going to get is pressure on the UK to update the rules of the game to match. And weirdly, I think the losers of this game are largely going to be the Europeans, who came up with a very cumbersome, very heavyweight regulatory framework with MiCA and MiCAR. And then they're going to get kind of stuck because the US is just going to light everything on fire and off we're going to go to the races. And then the EU is going to have to decide whether it's going to stick with that position or whether it's going to go through a second round of legislation with a kind of massive liberalisation. But I really think here that we are all basically just hearing the Americans revving their engines, waiting for the necessary enabling legislation to go, and then it's just going to be like, oh, the Americans tokenized $20 trillion of stuff in the last 2 days, now what? Which will be great, right? I mean, it's just, it's kind of I feel like it's a cultural inevitability. I think I've mentioned this in calls before, that, the thing that I realized a while back, like a few months, was that the magic in America was not that the American engineers were 20 times as good as the European engineers. It was that the risk appetite of American users was 20 times the risk appetite of European users. And that ability to get innovative products to market in America, it's far more about the buyers than the sellers of those amazing things. The thing that made the dot-com explosion possible and all the internet adoption, all the rest of that stuff, was the American love of novelty and the willingness to try new things, not that the American versions of those products was 50 times better than what you could get anywhere else. It's like, hey, you blew up a rocket, when are you going to blow up the next one? Whereas in the UK, it's like, oh, your rocket didn't go so well, now did it? And you would never raise another penny. So I think that we're all waiting for the American market as the great adoption runway. And when it comes, we're going to be there for it.